What is up, fellow bench warmers? This is your Daily Fantasy Quickie. What's up, guys? It's April 1, April Fools, and this is not a joke episode, but the only fools here would be probably me and Eric. But we'll talk fantasy as always with you guys. How are you, commish?
Okay, it's a holiday here, so
Yeah,
relax, chilling.
It's a four-day holiday here in Manila, in the Philippines, and that's why we're giving you an early quickie, and we have time to do other things like doing clips or chopping up our quickies into clips. Are you okay?
Yes.
You're blinking there on your screen.
Why?
Are you good? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. There's some blinking going on your screen. Anyway, let's move on to storylines. I guess the one that woke us up today or last night was Demarcus Cousins signing with the Clippers. Although this is not a long-term one, this is a 10-day contract.
And I think it's not yet official. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's official. I think because it's a 10-day contract, so I think they're still trying to see when he will sign it because of course there's a limit. It's only 10 days. So they're timing it, I think, maybe so that they'll maximize the number of games that he can play. So we don't know when exactly.
There's a limit to the number of 10-day contracts that you can sign, right?
I think two back-to-back 10-day contracts. You can sign two back-to-back 10-day contracts.
All right. Any logic for the Clippers to sign Demarcus Cousins?
Serge Ibaka reportedly is not near returning from his calf injury, according to Ty Lue. So they're looking for some help in their front court to partner with Zubac because if you saw the game against Orlando, the one they lost, Orlando was killing them down low. I mean, how
it's
crazy.
Orlando, yeah.
Wendell Carter Jr. had a great last few minutes there, and people are actually kidding Wendell Carter Jr. that he created a job for Demarcus Cousins because of what.
Yeah, so this can just be a temporary thing or a trial thing for Demarcus Cousins, and it's quite sad on the type of story that Demarcus has had. He hasn't had a real good break ever since he injured that. Is it the knee that started it or the Achilles?
It's the Achilles, I think. Achilles was the first one, yes. Achilles, then the knee, and then these things. And right now, I think we've got questions whether we should add Demarcus Cousins, and I answered that it was Demarcus or Dieng, and I said Dieng and all those stuff. But Dieng got injured today, so that changes it again. So Demarcus Cousins for me is a streamer at best, but not a long-term ad. Actually, the better question I'm gonna ask Jeremy is this. Jeremy doesn't know I'm gonna ask him this question. Remember that Kevin Love completed a practice today, and he has been upgraded to questionable, probably probable if it's gonna be cleared by their doctors. Who would you rather bet on, Demarcus Cousins or Kevin Love? I mean, that will be able to help you for the rest of the season. Whether it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't
Who
care.
I think will help me for the rest of the season?
I mean, help you somewhere. Like, even if it's just 1 week for both, maybe 2 weeks for DeMarcus, 1 week for Kevin. But who would be able to at least maybe give you something? Kevin Love or DeMarcus Cousins? Who would you choose?
That's a tough one. I'm thinking if DeMarcus would get minutes with the Clippers, that I'm not sure. On the other hand, Kevin Love, he might get minutes, but he might not get enough.
So if both of them are in your waiver wire, and you have like one extra spot because of an injured player, then who would you pick up?
I'd rather not add.
Hey, this is not an April Fool's joke. Kevin Love really finished an actual practice session. That was a joke, but
no. But here's the thing: I'm worried about the 10-day contract. This could be a trial thing, and usually, even if a player signs a 10-day contract, doesn't mean they'll get a chance to play. Right? There have been some 10-day contracts wherein they played probably 5 minutes in total for all those 10 games. So that's what concerns me about Demarcus Cousins. So I'll probably go with Kevin Love. I will reluctantly pick Kevin Love. I don't think there's a good answer here. Both are bad choices, but
not really. I mean, that's too harsh. I think DeMarcus, in the 10 days he will sign with the Clippers, I think he would have games where he would be serviceable for deep leagues. Kevin Love, I feel this is it. Like Larry Nance is ill with something. Jarrett Allen is in concussion. His only competition is Hartenstein. So I think he could have value. So I'm gonna go with Kevin Love also.
Yeah, I think the 10-day contract did it for me. I mean,
yeah,
that's just suspect for me. The 10-day contract. I think he will be on trial, and maybe they'll want to see if he's gonna be healthy and he can really contribute with the Clippers. All right. Speaking of injuries, we have a couple. Kyle Lowry got injured or is out once again with a foot injury, out for 7 to 10 days.
Yes.
The worry is, will he still play?
He should, but you see, the Raptors lost to OKC team that started without Pokusevski today, and their starting five was basically, I don't know, not even G League level, but they still lost. So they're getting near the lottery area. I mean, they are in the lottery area, but they're getting near the point where they want to probably improve their draft position. So there's a big possibility that Lowry might not, but I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying there is a possibility that he might not come back, or if he comes back, it will be a longer time than 7 to 10 days. And this is why we asked you to keep Chris Boucher, which right now, well, the question is now obsolete because of course now you have to keep Boucher.
Yeah. So there is some worry that Lowry might be shut down. 7 to 10 days might just be a face value type of timeline and not really something that they plan to honor at least 7 to 10 days. And it could be, we don't know the extent of the injury. 7 to 10 days looks like not too serious injury, but again.
Well, actually, the injury is an infection. It's not really an injury. It's like that there's an infection in the toe.
Could be an ingrown or whatever.
Okay. Well, I guess you
that's
guys
too much information. That might sway away our viewers.
I guess you guys are watching this not while you're eating, before you sleep, so maybe you might not.
Don't give some graphic.
but an infection.
It's an infection.
An infection might take some time also.
So we'll see. I don't know if he will still play. We are not sure, but we'll keep an. Well, now I regret not trading Kyle Lowry. There were a lot of offers.
Oh yeah.
That I got early on this season, or at least a few weeks before the trade deadline on Lowry, and I did not push the accept button on those offers because he was playing well, and I felt that he can continue it, and I felt that he would be traded. So there. Well,
Fred VanVleet, by the way, aside from Boucher, VanVleet will be a big winner. Today he had an insane stat line: 5 steals, 4 blocks. And I saw some posts, people are cursing their love for Fred VanVleet. Then I expect a lot more of these kinds of posts.
Hopefully, he doesn't get rested as well because he's going to be the top player in Toronto. I think he has overtaken Siakam for that, main guy role.
Yes.
So I think hopefully he still gets to play as the season moves on to the fantasy playoffs because that's where it really matters, the fantasy playoffs. Another player who went down, unfortunately, I think this year has been a bad year for the Lakers. Andre Drummond, who was making his debut today, got injured. He played 14 minutes, which is not bad. Could be a mild injury.
He actually changed shoes 3 times. He did not start the second half, I think, because the toe was bothering him. And then he could not play through it after playing a few minutes only in the third quarter. So it doesn't look like it's serious, but it doesn't look like it's minor either. So not being able to play through it means that there's something there. So again, it's the toe. We hate toes. We hate toe injuries.
Yep.
And I think there's possibility he could miss some games. Sadly for owners who waited for a month. You'll have to...
Well, here's the bright side, guys. JJJ is still not playing. And we've waited for months for him, right? So at least this one, we saw a glimpse of Drummond. So maybe he'll miss a game or two. Hopefully, just a game or two. Or if we get lucky, hopefully he doesn't miss any. All right, big risers for today. Let's talk about Moses Brown first. Moses Brown is one of the hotter free agent picks, or at least free agent pickups in our fantasy waiver wires. He has been starting and he has been playing well.
Yes, and we were worried about Tony Bradley, but so far the minutes allotment has been 30 minutes for Moses Brown and 18 for Bradley. That's been for 2 to 3 games already. So I think that might be what they will be doing, except if Brown gets into foul trouble. But one thing good about Moses Brown is not been in foul trouble so far. I don't know if this is how it will be, but then if he can get 28 to 30 minutes a game, then Bradley might not be a player to add right now, and it's really just Moses Brown, and his outlook will be better.
So Moses Brown had 20 points, 12 rebounds, and a block, 6 of 10 from the field. So really nice stat line, although we would have wanted a few assists and probably a few steals, but that's not what you get Moses Brown for. You get him for the rebounds, the scoring, and the good field goal, and the blocks, of course. So Moses Brown, congratulations if you got Moses Brown. Let's talk about Isaiah Roby for a bit. He played well today, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists.
Yes.
Is he an ad at this point?
He is an ad. He's a priority ad, actually, in my opinion. Poku is in COVID protocol. I'm not sure if he's positive, but there's the report of the NBA is there's one new positive player that tested positive for COVID. So it could be Poku. He could miss a week or two or more. Roby has been playing better the past few games, and without Pokusevski, the rotation is basically, I don't know, Roby, Moses Brown, Tony Bradley. I don't have any other power forwards there. Maybe Kendrick Williams, but he's not really a power forward. So Roby,
he plays mostly a guard or point guard or a shooting guard role. So there's a lot of players here in OKC that are playing well, or that do have some fantasy value. And you mentioned Kendrick Williams. He had 10 points today, 8 rebounds, and an assist.
And a block.
So he is part of our waiver wire pick-up suggestions today. And another player's V. Mikhailuk.
V. Mikhailuk.
who had 22 points and 9 rebounds. And 2 blocks. Okay, so again, are these players must add right now? Or how deep of a league should you be adding these types of players?
Roby should be added in all leagues, in my opinion. 12 and above. 12 teams at least, you should add him. Kenrich Williams, 14 teams, I will add Kenrich Williams. Pending what happens with Goku, but I'll add Kenrich Williams. V, though, is more of a 3-point specialist. If you're looking for 3-pointers, you add V.
Mhm.
But don't mind the 2 blocks. V has the shortest wingspan recorded in the NBA history. So that's a fluke. He's basically just 3-point shooting. And I don't think it's a 14-team ad. More of 16, 18, and streaming for threes.
Yep.
And Ty Jerome is injured also.
So there, Ty Jerome is also injured.
Nobody's left. And they won.
They won again against Toronto. So we just talked about the OKC waiver wire specials.
I'm thinking Sam Presti is regretting his decision to hire this coach.
This is like a tank goal that has gone wrong for OKC because they haven't been really tanking in that sense as much as they are trying to tank. All right, let's move on to other big risers. Kevin Porter Jr. started today because there was no John Wall.
Yeah, no John Wall. And I think going forward, he's going to start already for Houston. This is going to be a permanent thing. And
because if John Wall plays, he plays the shooting guard, right?
And that's not where he should be in the shooting guard position. He should be in the point guard position. Mm-hmm. So his ceiling, his upside and ceiling is in the point guard position. Is in the assist. If he's in the shooting guard, I'm not that high on. I'm high on him, but not as high as if he's in the point guard position. So,
well, we do expect John Wall could not end the season, could end up being shut down eventually, right? So either way, whether he plays the shooting guard or the point guard position, he will get minutes here in Houston. And
yes, but I'm hoping that they
shut down John Wall already.
Yeah, earlier. I mean, sooner rather than
that would make all our John Wall owners angry and sad that why are we saying that? But here's my question. Kevin Porter Jr., is he someone that can really help you in the playoffs, or is he a sell high type of guy? For those who still has the trade deadline of a couple of weeks from now or a week from now, is he a sell high guy?
Everybody's a sell high guy for me. I mean, for the right value, everybody's a sell high. But I think the possibility of Wall shutting down makes him a valuable fantasy playoff player. Mm. The reason I told you guys to sell him before was his own injury history, which is still there. I mean, we never know if he can continue to be healthy. So it's not a sell high as much as maybe a sell for a safer player in that sense.
Yeah.
You get it? I just don't know if he can stay healthy. That's my question. Not about his fantasy upside. So maybe if I could sell him to, I don't know, someone.
Kemba?
No. Kemba might get injured also. So maybe DeJounte? Maybe someone like DeJounte Murray?
But that's quite high. DeJounte is quite high already, but
I think he can do that. You can swing that deal because when he continues to have 20-point games and you can say that Wall rests or Wall shuts down, you could have a third, fourth round value.
True. And if you time it right, because not every game has been a good game for DeJounte, right? Like we mentioned, there will be good games and there will be mediocre games wherein Derek White performs or maybe Keldon Johnson. I think the only consistent player there in the Spurs is DeMar DeRozan. Right? So the rest will take their turns on performing. So maybe, yes, you can swing that deal. Another player on our big risers, and we didn't expect him to be a big riser early on after the trade is Gary Trent Jr., who had 31 points.
Yes, Gary Trent.
6 3-pointers, 12 out of 22 from the field, and he also had two steals and pretty much nothing else. But yeah, we don't expect the other stats, but the scoring and the threes being there is really nice.
A lot of winners in the Lowry injury, and Trent is another. He can easily be the Portland version, the CJ McCollum-less Portland version of Gary Trent here in Toronto. And as Jeremy said, we don't know if VanVleet or the other Raptors will get rested soon, right? So one player who I'm sure won't get rested is Gary Trent.
Yep, definitely.
So he's trending with the correct direction, trending up. And but do not expect anything else than 3 points and some steals, I guess.
Yeah.
He's not this guy.
And this is probably peak Gary Trent.
Peak career high.
31 points is probably peak, and he won't probably hit anything close to this. I'll be surprised if he hits anything close to this 31 points. I think the max he'll get is you'll get lucky if he gets around 20 or 18 a night.
I think without Lowry, 18 to 20 is doable for Gary. Yeah.
So there, Gary Trent, big riser for today. Another big riser is Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the good thing is it doesn't seem like the return of Malik Beasley has affected him as much.
And he's very confident, this kid. I mean, I will admit if I'm wrong, and I'm wrong that I thought he should be traded. He should be a must trade when Malik Beasley came back. He showed that he can contribute. He had 3 steals and 3 blocks today.
Yep.
He has had multiple 3-pointers in the game, the past few games. He's averaged 25 points. The shooting is still bad, but
he shot it well today. He had 9 of 16, 24 points. 4 of 5 from the free throw line and 2 3-pointers.
Yes.
So it hasn't been bad, at least today.
And the confidence of this kid. I mean, afterwards the interview, he said that, I don't know if you heard it, the game plan was just to give Randall, to stop Randall and let anybody else shoot. And he specifically mentioned RJ Barrett. He said, when he saw that RJ Barrett was going to shoot the final attempt, the game winner, potential game winner, he said that was what they wanted. So it's like
RJ Barrett is a first pick, right?
Third pick.
Oh, third pick. So 2 lottery picks, and they have similar skill set. I mean, it's they have the similar skill set. They can score. The other stats are pretty much bonus for both of them, and they don't shoot well from the field, and they are inconsistent at times. So both players play similar roles and probably similar style of play.
Who would you think, Jeremy, would be? Let's not talk this season. Let's talk the rest of their careers. Who do you think will be the better fantasy of between these two?
I'd pick Anthony Edwards because he's shown a lot this year. RJ Barrett, for me, has improved a bit this year, maybe a little bit, but it's not something you would be excited about. He's not something that we're talking about fantasy wise, right? And
fantasy wise. Fantasy. Who would you think would be picked higher, who will rank higher going the rest of their careers?
I'd go Anthony Edwards. I'd still go Anthony Edwards. I think he is the better. I feel he has more, skill set. He has a better skill set than RJ Barrett.
Actually, I'm thinking about this question. My first answer was RJ Barrett, but looking at it more closely, yes, I may agree with Jeremy that it's Anthony Edwards. In his first season, he has already similar numbers to RJ Barrett, except in the assists. And the difference between the two actually is that Anthony Edwards has the 3-pointers and steals combo. That RJ Barrett is having a problem. RJ Barrett has never averaged 1 steal, and he averages only 1.2 3-pointers. Of course, that could improve, but well, Anthony Edwards can improve further, right? So
yeah, this is Anthony Edwards' first year, and
close,
already, if you look at the first year of RJ Barrett, Anthony Edwards has been playing way better than RJ Barrett, and both were on really bad teams at that. I mean, right? RJ Barrett was on a bad team when he started.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it even though he was expected to somehow carry some load there, he didn't do that really in New York.
And RJ Barrett's 40% field goal last year is near what Anthony Edwards is averaging this year, which is 39%. So he improved 4 percentage points this year. Maybe Anthony Edwards improves 4 percentage points next year, right? So
let's see. But I think offensively, Anthony Edwards, I think, is a more skilled player than RJ Barrett. I don't think RJ Barrett could go any higher. Or if he does, I think it's just a little bit higher from where he is right now, fantasy-wise. I don't think he can improve or dominate. What's RJ Barrett's average draft position? Is it a 9th round?
This year?
Yep. Yes, this year.
I think lower than that.
So 10th round?
Probably 10th to 11th round this year. Because of what
and I won't be surprised if next year he'll end up there as well.
Well, that one I don't agree with you. I think he will be drafted higher because
what, 9th round?
Maybe 8th or 9th, because top 100 is not far off for RJ Barrett. I mean, he improved. He did show improvement this year with his shooting, and with that, I mean, he should continue to improve. He's very young, so I think some people will gamble. Maybe 9th round. Yes, I think.
And Anthony Edwards probably next year would go 8th, 7th.
Yeah, I think it's close. Actually, I think
it could be. It could be. Yes, it could
close.
be. I don't think managers trust both of these players as much. So I think it could be close, but performances like this from Anthony Edwards would give him more of an edge than RJ Barrett, because we haven't seen RJ Barrett do something like this, right?
Yeah, not. I
3
guess
steals, 3 blocks.
Yeah, maybe not.
I know it's fluky, but come on.
Yeah.
RJ Barrett hasn't given anything close to those stats.
And the dunks and the athleticism and the
excitement, yes.
The excitement, everything. I mean, he's just way better.
Yep.
I'm just still afraid of the field goal percentage, but well,
people would know. Managers would know that. If you're an experienced fantasy manager, you'd know what you're getting if you get Anthony Edwards and RJ Barrett. Bad field goal, probably, most likely. All right. Those are our big risers for today. Let's move on to some of the players we worry about. Evan Fournier came off the bench once again.
He came off the bench, yes.
Once again, but it wasn't any better. Well, it was a little bit better than his debut with the Celtics, but it was not the type of game that many of his managers would want. Is he a hold at this point?
I probably own the most Evan Fourniers. I have 6 Evan Fourniers this year, so it's hard to say drop him. I haven't dropped him in any league, and I'm holding on for 2 to 3 more games. He got 30 minutes though today, so that's good.
Yeah.
With Kemba, Marcus, Jalen, and everybody healthy, he got 30 minutes. It's a matter of probably taking more attempts. He only took 6 attempts today, so maybe he really doesn't know yet where his role is. But I am pretty sure he should be on hold. He should get 12, 14 points eventually.
Yeah.
Around those numbers.
Yeah. So, hold on to your Fournier.
Yeah.
DeAndre Jordan is another player we worry about. We recommended a drop already in previous quickies for him.
If you haven't dropped, I think today's game should make you drop already.
And today, Claxton also played well.
Claxton ended the game again, and then Jordan got 12 minutes only. And Steve Nash said afterwards that Claxton is probably their best big man, best defensive big man. So that says a lot already about the future of DeAndre Jordan in the rotation.
Where at which type of league do you add Claxton? Because he's been dropped in a few of my 14-team leagues.
I add Claxton in all leagues until LaMarcus comes in. That's what I'll do. I don't know when that will happen, but as long as there's no LaMarcus, I don't care. I'm adding Claxton, and then if LaMarcus comes back, then I'll drop him.
All right.
It's like
so 14 teams still a good add.
Yes, for me at 14 team. But again, we say this, but in the next game, let's say LaMarcus suddenly plays, then he becomes a drop.
Yep. There are factors involved when we say add, right?
Yes.
And factors of the unknowns that can happen. All right.
Right.
Brook Lopez, another center. Well, this year has been really a disappointment for Brook Lopez. He hasn't been consistent. He's had good games, but not as consistent as we want to.
The thing that's saving him is the blocks, and the blocks are still there. So at least if that's what you need, then it's okay. But when again he has stretches where he has good games, and when those stretches come, I really hope you guys try to be more aggressive in selling him, because you only have 8 more days to trade, right? So you have to really be aggressive in looking for deals.
Yep, and still Brook Lopez has name value, so some managers would still want him to be part of their teams, and he can give you a few blocks here and there and a few threes.
Yes.
Still not good, but not as bad as some of the players that you might have added before. All right, let's move on to our waiver wire specials. Let's talk about Hamido Diallo, who played another great game today off the bench, and we've already recommended him an ad in even before, after he was traded. We felt that he might get some minutes and he might perform. Today he did 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. Solid across the board stat line. 7 out of 8 from the field and 2 threes. Now the question is this here to stay? He had 26 minutes today, but he did not start. And the players who started were Josh Jackson and Saddiq Bey. So among the 3 players, who do you rank as someone who you should have? And
a lot of people are hating on Saddiq Bey again because he had 0 of 8. And I hate him because I used him in my daily fantasy today. But if you look at him, he has games like this. He has games where 0-3, but majority of his games have been okay. I'm staying with him because I think even with games like this, he has the most fantasy-friendly game. He has the 3-pointers, he has some steals, he has those things. Then I picked Diallo, and then Josh Jackson, of course, the last one. With Diallo, the groin issue is still there. He is in minutes restriction. I don't know if he's gonna play tomorrow, but the potential of the guy, of course. I compared him to Josh Hart, and I think he's a better version, a scoring version of Josh Hart, because he rebounds very well for a guard. So,
and he has good defensive stats as well.
Yes.
He can play defense. So
that's my choice. But Diallo, you have to be careful with the injury. Groins can be tricky. Just ask LeBron. So that's something to consider. If you're allergic to injuries, rest, or those people who don't play back-to-back, maybe Diallo is not for you, then you certainly should be Bey. But Josh Jackson is not.
He's not playable anymore in fantasy. I think he has been a drop candidate, or he should have been dropped a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
In fact, a month ago, you should have dropped him already. I mean, he hasn't been really good over the past few months now. Another player who is playing really well is Jaden Mcdaniels, and we are loving Jaden Mcdaniels.
Jaden McDaniels, I thought today will be a bad game for him because remember when you're hyping somebody up and suddenly when you add them they
won't play.
Yeah, they won't play well. But today he didn't have a block, but he had 4 3-pointers in 36 minutes. And his defense was being praised by Chris Finch after. So you can
and
see
looks
that
like he's a lock.
Yeah, he's
that
a lock.
Starting power forward position.
He's a lock. He's as good as a lock. And I think if there's any more, I was able to add him in two of my leagues still. So, right? I mean, just before we recorded this. So he's still there. And he should be in more leagues. He should be added basically everywhere.
In all leagues.
In all leagues. He got 36 minutes. Brook Lopez there. You could switch for me. I mean, I'd rather have McDaniels.
Who would you rather have, Jaden McDaniels or Norm Powell?
Well, right now I'll go with Norm because I think Norm Powell still is playing. I mean, Norm Powell is still top 70, top 80 with Portland at the current level. He still gets those threes and steals. So it's not threes and blocks, but it's similar, right? So I'm gonna go with Norm Powell because he has more track record. He's been doing this already for years. So I'm gonna go with him.
All right.
Norm Powell.
Just a thought there because I see them, in similar situation wherein they're not really the star players, but they give you really good fantasy numbers. And again, if Karl Anthony Towns, we're not saying he's gonna be shut down, but if he gets rest, that could be Jaden McDaniels' time to really shine.
I got a question which I had to think hard, which is Jaden McDaniels for Lowry Markkanen. Before Lowry started today, because Zach LaVine didn't play, right? So before that, I was thinking hard about that. I said Lowry, but right now, I'm not sure. I'm still thinking. How about you?
I really like McDaniels. The trend has been really nice. He has been playing really well. Every game, I always expect some dips, but so far he hasn't given me that. So I don't like Markkanen's game. So I'll stick with Jaden McDaniels.
Okay.
It's an exciting player versus quite a boring player. So I'll go with the exciting one, wherein the upside is probably higher than, Markkanen. We already know the upside, and it isn't really too high. So I'll go with McDaniels. All right, last of our waiver wire special is Delon Wright. We talked about Delon Wright a few times, so I guess it's just right to talk about him once again because he played 22 minutes. He played well today. And unlike the first two games that he played, is he an add back? Because he's been dropped almost in all leagues.
Yeah, we dropped him.
Yep.
Even us, we dropped him. I'll wait for a couple more games maybe. The problem is our team, Jeremy and our team and my team, we have kind of a deep team, so I don't have anybody else to drop really. But if your team is not that deep and is very top heavy, you have lots of good players and lots of waiver wire kind of players. I think you could add again and see if he can continue this. I'm looking at the stats right now, the bench of Sacramento. Metu, Justin James, Kyle Guy, Chris Silva, Woodard,
Terrence Davis,
and Delon Wright and Mo Harkless. I mean, yikes, right? So I think Harkless
clearly
right?
he is the best player there. So
yes, he's the best player there. So
you can take your chances on him.
And he can be the backup for 3 to 4 positions.
Yep.
So,
he can be the backup for Barnes, Hield, and
Halliburton
or Fox even. Yep.
Yeah. So,
I just can't believe Sacramento's lineup ended up like this. I mean,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
The bench is clearly very depleted. You don't know who to play right there. If you look at the bench, really no fantasy value there except for Delon Wright. So yeah, there you can add him up and take your chances. Again, this depends because we don't expect. We probably are looking at a fluky game at the moment. Maybe not a fluky game, but probably the next game could be a better judge or gauge of how he would be moving forward. But if he can be speculatively added in your teams in case he gets more consistent. All right, so yep, that's it for the April Fool's Day Quickie. And we hope you like this. We hope you enjoyed the Quickie today. We'll see you again tomorrow for another Daily Fantasy Quickie. Bye, guys.
Bye.